I personally rested a lot yesterday because I was very exhausted and hard time using, focusing.
Oh, really? Did you listen?
No, I didn't listen, but I rested a lot.
Okay.
I would really like to understand this piece.
All right. It's not a long distance, so we can just review it. We are on the line that begins with the Ein Sof. That as a result of the birur and zichur keilim, there is a hamshach, and there is an imbuance of an oil that is above keilim altogether, into the keilim. And principally, this is the Indian that the Indian atzmus is nimshach in the keilim. Atzmus Ein Sof.
Just one question. Didn't we say this before in the first beer that we said through, being mavar the nefesh of Bahamas and making things in mukhshar, that's drawing down, that's mamshech atmos. In the beginning of the whole discussion, we also had this. What's being added here?
That's typical for us to start with a question. There's a primary difference when the atmos is nimshach in the keilim, or the atmos is nimshach and is mevatel the keilim. The principle over here that we're talking about is that the keilim become receptacles for atmos, for an oil that is above keilim. Originally, we alluded to this principle when we said that the nefesh habahamis can reach the highest point when it says tzorich yirtzois. Tzorich yirtzois means that it is not capable of actually relating to it, but it recognizes this, and this is where the truth is. So it's not nimshach in its keilim. It recognizes this is where the truth is. Nimshach in keilim is a completely different thing. This is where the ultimate dira, this is what dira betachtenim. This is not a dira yet. It's inviting the host, but not hosting him.
What was that? What level of inviting but not hosting?
The nefesh habahamis.
Okay.
All right. So the thing that we attempted yesterday to understand with the principle that there is a birur in the keilim shalamayla, a birur v'zichuch and a tikkun in the keilim shalamayla, and as a result of that there is a hamshachas ha'atzmos and so forth, the oyer shalamayla me'hakelim. So we discussed quite extensively the principle of keilim, of the birur hakelim, because the Rebbe gives us right away, so to speak, an in. But he says that chochmah, as a matter of fact, the keilim is like the oir. So to understand that, we use the chochmah element as it is in our physical experience. It's in from sight. Sight is comparable to chochmah. Of course, this is on a much lower level, but nevertheless, within the physical arena, this is like chochmah. As we explained that in sight, the keilim is like the oir. Keilim does not interfere at all. And reflecting further again on what we said, I realized that there is already, in our discussion, there's already illustration of this principle. We discuss it all the time, which is really a phenomenal experience. That we, in sight, in one instant, literally in no time, we can observe an arena that is limitless. As far out as what is visible within you, within your perimeter, you could see it in one instant. If it were through the process of keilim, it cannot be that way. It is only due to the fact that the keilim is so pure, it's like the oil itself. Even though it is through a keilim. This is the pshat that the keilim is entirely mezucha. What's the keilim entirely mezucha? The keilim is totally accepting the oil in its purity. It does not have to translate the oil according to its parameters in order to relate to it. This is the way it is in chochmah. In physical level, it's only in sight. This is why we say that in sight we are in contact with the very reality of the world. The reason that we want to be in the world is because of sight. Because it's real. And the Aveda of Berurim, the Aveda of Nefesh Abamis and so forth, the effect of that is that all the keilim are nisbarer and become like the oil. For this, we use the mashal of keilim that capture various aspects of the oil hanefesh. Like we said, the table captures a certain aspect, and if we come to the point where the table becomes so nisbare, where it's de-emphasizing completely its physical structure, and rather it relates directly to the nefesh ha'odam, that's birur. That's the birur. What is so significant about this? Why is it worth the effort? Because oil is connected to the source, to the godly truth, to Atzmos. which means that thereby you mamshech adam, mamshech elokus into the world, mam atzmus. This is where we have this challenge from the world. Where the world says to us, you're pursuing an intangible reality. Are you pursuing something real, or are you just imagining it? So our answer is, it is absolute and intangible reality. And we're pursuing something which is extremely real. It is so real that you can't touch it. It is above world. This is actually the source of the world. This is what gives the world a reality, a sense of reality. I mentioned many times a phenomenal thing. And once I was looking through a mathematics book, and in the introduction, the first thing they tell you is, don't trust your eyes. In other words, the blind can do much better in that arena than the sighting. I don't want to go into that whole phenomenon and to show the error and the fallacy in this, but to us, sight is what makes it real. And this reality, this encompasses the entire everything. If you are able to measure and weigh anything in the world, it has to always be recognized that this is contained within that immeasurable and unweighable reality. As we are pointing out all the time, this is something which translates in our normal experience. The piece of furniture that we're using, this is tangible, this is real. But the fact that there is a home that houses this, we completely ignore it. We don't realize that that is what makes it into an entity. And we're completely oblivious to it. It's an intangible. What are you doing? All right. All right, so I can go on and on, and this is an endless cycle. Enough said now, and we have yesterday's class, which was quite extensive. The line starts with one, the Ein Sof keilim, and this is just below, a couple of lines below the middle of the page, Samachal. And this line answers your question. Where this is actually the principle of dira betachtoinim, li is hagilui davko bebchinas hakeilim. So that the gilui of atzmus should be intentionally, specifically, in bechinas of keilim, not in oir. Ad ha'olam hatachton mamos, till reaching the Olam HaTachton, the actually the lowest of worlds, that in this Olam HaTachton should be the Hamshocha of Atzmos. The Nefesh Elikis already has this great oil. Yet, as a result of the Birun Shrabanis, there is something unique, something supreme that is realized, that is Nimshach. That the Nefesh Elikis, and it's only cannot be Mamshach. Yeah.
Why does we're talking about the tikkun keilim l'mayla? You know, the Nefesh Bahamas is working on the chumrias and the gashmias. Why dafka does this affect the tikkun? We said this already. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it?
We explained that the entire world, from the Tzimtzum on down, is all one. Has one aim and one ultimately one single accomplishment. The keilim here lamato are nimshach from the keilim lamayla. The neshamis here lamato are rooted in the keilim natzilus.
So I'm working on the tachlis that Mavar is Mavar, the whole order.
The birur is possible only here lamato. That's a great thing of it. Why? Why is the birur possible only here lamato?
Only Ra Mamish is here. So only
Right.
that which is neged the
Of course. Here there's a clear enemy. Do you understand the point? Here there is an element that you cannot coexist with. It's either or. To the point where the only way to deal with it is force your way in. Skafia, koifa. This is where the birur is possible. All right. Again, there's much to be said. But this is clear, that this birur is only, it has to be tachtonim, and there has to be olam hatachton mamash, and only then there is hamshochas ha'atzmos. B'zeh inyan, bochi nafshi es havaya. This is the Indian in the Pasuk. Saying, Borchi Nafshi es Havaya. Must mean es Havaya, es hatofel Havaya. Es means that which comes along with Havaya. Not Havaya directly, but es hatofel Havaya. Tachlis ho Aveda the Neshomes, because the ultimate Aveda of the Neshomes, who Tikkun ha-keilim davko. It is in the Tikkun of the keilim, that's the es Havaya. This is what the Neshomes are accomplishing primarily. And that is also represented by the Inyan from Birur and Zichu Adam Tachtenim, purifying the lower the lowest of things. Dafka. And that is also the same principle, that as a result of that, Nase Hamshochas or Asmus, Bivchinas HaKeilim, the Hamshocha of Asmus in the keilim aspect. And in this lowest of things, he belongs. Okay. And this phenomenal accomplishment is only because is within the ability of the neshama is dafka. Only neshamas. The hamalachim, because the malachim sheheim b'bchina say that hishtalshalus, the malachim that fall under the general the structure, in the order of say that hishtalshalus, of how the oil comes down in close proximity to each level. It's impossible through the malachim that the malachim should have that to affect that tikkun. Vezehu, and that this is the same principle. Shavedos emuhu b'bchinas ha'oyer levad. That their avodah is within the realm of oyer. I'll come back to comment on that. Rak nishomes, only the nishomes, lefi shemushroshim be'atzmus, because they are rooted in atzmus, in the principle of atzmus, etz. Yesh bohem koyach. Thus they have this capability, liv el habir v'hatikun v'hazeh, to affect this birun, this perfection, hamshocha hazois, and this hamshocha. The only way to phrase this principle, the avodah in b'chinas oyer and avodah b'chinas keilim, is like this. In oyer is, as we said, the oyer is always representative of its source, and is speaking about the fundamental truth, like the Rambam says, or there is a motzer rish and mamchikol means. This motzer rish and mamchikol means is something that is present everywhere, because all presence is dependent on this motzerish. Therefore, from that perspective, when we realize that there is a presence, that presence is immediately substantiated by its reality. Of course there's a presence, because there's a motzerish. There's amitis in what's. Therefore, in the oyer arena, in the general realm of oyer, there is not really such a concept. As we say all the time, even if it is not, it is. Because oyer always has this reality that's substantiated. The union of atzmus is in a category totally in a different category. This is what needs to be recognized. Atmos is here not because there is a world. We know that there is Atmos not because there is a world. Then how do you know? It cannot, this is something which even if it's not, it is. What is in for Mesiras Nefesh? What kind of avoid it? What kind of step is Mesiras Nefesh? You step into nothingness. So where are you going? I'm going to find the truth in nothingness. I'm looking for a truth that is present in nothingness. You say, it's kafir. You're koifer. So what am I accomplishing? If I'm koifer, I'm not really there. I'm not there, but the truth is there. But if you're not there, how do you want us to? There's a certain sense of this thing that I want even if I'm not there. This is the union of the kfir of the kfir of Nefesh HaBahamis. Because in Nefesh HaBahamis there is this union of the reality of world per se. What kind of reality is the world to the Nefesh HaBahamis? Can anyone kind of describe it? What kind of reality is it? It's a reality, it's impossible not to be. Right? Everything is, wherever I'll go, it's going to be there. Can't run away from it. If I go to sleep, I dream about it. By the bidur of Nefesh HaBahamis, by kfir, against that type of reality. This is when you get to the real thing. Not by your realization. Not by your realization, but by the truth itself. Like we mentioned what the Rebbe said about the Frierdiker Rebbe, and this is what I have to say that Chassidim experienced it and even experienced it throughout the ages. It's impossible. זה הדבר שאי אפשר. Why is that possible? Because it is not, there's not presence there to be denied. Like you said, there is a cholol and there's a mokim ponder. This is now coming to this. Mokim ponder, that was gives place for the world. Cholol, this is nothingness. Even in cholol, there is this. There is this.
When you said Efshar, this is referring to the not traveling on Shabbos?
What?
What was the
Efshar to deny the godly truth is Efshar.
That was the response to the question of how could you have Mesiras Nefesh for something?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We spoken on Purim time, always mentioned this Inyan that in the whole nation was in a state of Mesilas Nefesh for a whole year, almost a year. So there's an expression, and that explains the purity of that Mesilas Nefesh was that Lahoya Bahem Machshavas Chutz. Remember this principle. There was not a Machshavas Chutz. Machshavas Chutz means extraneous thought. What is this extraneous thought? The extraneous thought we are talking about is not that none of them thought, perhaps we should jump over to Haman's side. This is not what this is referring to. That thought, of course, there would not be. And that thought, and there's nothing praiseworthy about. Of course, Ayin, which will not do it. Meant something completely different. They were standing there in Mesilas Nefesh. They have absolutely no idea, no projection as to what's going to happen, what's going to be. There was not a machshavas chut, there was not an attempt to project what would be. This is Mesilas Nefesh.
They were in the nothingness.
Huh?
They were in the nothingness.
There was not even a thought to project what's going to be. Not that they doubted. You say, I don't doubt. I think it's going to be. How is it going to be? How? It'll be this or that. No, none of it.
Because that wasn't their reality. The reality was in the nothingness.
How is it going to be? The same thing, gentlemen, applies to our anticipation of Mashiach. How is that going to be? Do we have to be able to project how it's going to be? That's not doing it for Mashiach. Mashiach started at the very beginning of the world, of the creation. The whole reality of the world. Is a non-reality in relation to the Mashiach. How is it going to be? That's machshavas chutz. That's trying to fit Mashiach into the world arena, make sense of it. But that's not what it's coming from. That's not what it represents. And with this, we're going to stop. Have a great day.
Sama